1976 CT70, I decided I need another project. I found another frame, this one a 1970 CT70, not too far from the place, so I'm up early heading out to pick it up. This bike's in a lot rougher shape. There's a lot of rust from the pictures that I was able to see online. And it's just the frame, it doesn't come with the wheels and a lot of the other parts that the last bike came with. But honestly, on the last bike, there wasn't too much that I reused other than the wheels, and all the bolts and the hardware are going to be the thing that's going to be the most difficult to come by, especially some of the more unique bolts that are required for the build. But having just gone through that entire 1976 build, I'm pretty familiar with all the bolts and how they all fasten, so it's not going to be as difficult as it would have been had I not had the opportunity to go through and build one like I just did. So I picked up the frame and I'm headed back. That ended up being quite the experience. The guy that sold me the frame, David, ended up being this really cool guy that has a huge stockpile of CT70 frames and parts, and we spent a couple hours looking through some of the stuff he had. I bought a lot of additional parts and just talking about CT70s. But he had quite a few built bikes and a lot more frames and motors and other parts that looking to make sure that I stay in contact with him as I go through this next build. The frame that I got from him was also in much better condition than it looked like from the photos that I saw online, so I'm going to get that sandblasted and probably do powder coat the same way that I did the last bike. So in addition to the frame, I got the correct triple tree for the 1970 CT70. I got a couple of fenders that were in good condition. They're not perfect, but they are original, unlike the reproductions that I put on the 1976. And I'm thinking I'll clean them up and then maybe have them either painted silver or preferably re-chromed. This guy also sold me the rear brake hub. Oh, I built it!
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've been trying to find one and I thought about building my own, but
Yeah.
I don't know how easy it was.
I just built it. If you Google Satoshi. Thanks, man. Here we go again. This is the frame that I just picked up that I was talking about. It's a 1970. And he said that it was an H series, and apparently that's a more collectible version of this bike. Here are the fenders that I got from him. They're actually in perfect shape other than some of the rusting and pitting. I'm going to try to figure out what my best options are in refinishing these. I'm hoping that I can get them re-chromed for an affordable price. But he said that the forks, the suspension works. There's obviously rusting here. Worst case, I can swap out the stanchions here, but this looks good, and the ears look like they're in good shape. I know this is something that rusts pretty easily. So good to see that there seems to be pretty limited rust and structurally feels pretty strong. I bought this from him separately. It's the triple tree designed specifically for the 1970 model. On the 1976 version, where I bought an aftermarket one, and actually I think this was the way that it was designed for later versions. It's a triple tree that the handlebars bolt onto, so that you can also do risers and do a regular BMX bar or something. But this version was supposed to have this integrated triple tree and clamp version, and this one actually looks like it's in really good shape, and I just have to buy the bars themselves to complete that out. But as I look through it, none of the rust looks like it's gone through. Most of it just looks surface. This might be the worst of it here. Looking inside the frame, you can see that there's down, particularly in the center there, my other bike had quite a bit of rust. This looks much better. You can tell it was repainted at some point, this orange color, because it looks like they even painted over the plastic parts this orange color, but I think that may have helped limit the rust over the years. But otherwise, most parts look pretty good. These shocks I might replace. As inexpensive as the other ones were to take care of, it's probably worth changing out there, but we'll see as we move through the project. So a lot more to come on this. This build will probably go a little bit slower than the last build for the 1976 bike. I was really excited just to actually see it finished and start riding it. But this one, especially since I'm going to try to do a little less of the modifications, try to keep it a little more true to the original bike, will probably take a little bit longer to get together. But again, this guy that I met, David, seems to have most of the parts that I need. So from a sourcing perspective, it doesn't sound like that's going to be a problem. Just the time that it's going to take to get it all together. So stay tuned.